Okay, so we will do the recording and then let's start sharing. So we will start our material right away today, okay? Because there are a lot of material, otherwise I cannot finish. So today we will start with kind of, it's not the complete Python, Java language review. It's mostly focused on array, okay, Java array review, it's one dimension. And I believe you already taken CS165. So generally speaking, Java language, you already kind of have some concept, okay. So this example is called chapter 1 array.java. If you go to our course website to find that example, okay. And and also make sure, because I create the project within the NetBeans, so it automatically generates the package name. And if you use other IDE or you just purely use command line with text edit, maybe you don't want to have package, then you can remove this line, okay. Okay, so for Java language, we all know it's within the class. Is it within the class? And it's public. Okay, and so for this example, because we name the file name, is it, and it automatically also generates the class. And for a program to run, it's an exe file, is it? And the exe file's entry point is main function. Okay, man. Also be careful, okay, there is only one main function, because in the past, some students wrote two main functions. That's not good. You only have one entry point, one main in one exe, okay, executable file. And so we only have one main, is it? And so this is our, so for Java, okay, this main is a method. The Java method. And for a Java method, later on we will learn the concept regarding this public or whatever, okay. And the static, is it, we don't need to worry too much at this point. Anyway, for any method, you need to have return type. So in this case, it's a void, is it? And then following what? Following method name. In this case, it's main, is it? And after that, you have what? You have parameter list. Is it? So you list all of the parameters. So that's the prototype of a method definition. And over here, for the main method, it must be a static method. And static in Java means it's a class method. And later on, we will learn class. Then you will know why we need this static. Okay. And also, main must be public accessible. Later on, we will learn class, then you will fully understand. But at this point, just remember, main must be public, static, and void. Okay, and other method, then it depends. Okay, anyway, so we all need the main for Python application, And so in a program, not Python, in a Java program, is it? And we have variable. Is it a variable? And over here, if you take a look at this math, so this is a variable, but this variable, it has a lot of other stuff before it. Is it? Whenever a variable, you need to have the type. data type, and then variable name. That's it. So that's how you declare a variable. And here in this case is you declare a variable and also you assign value to it. That's it. Because you have the assignment statement. But this variable is very special. So this type is integer. This is the name. And at this point already has a value 999. Is it? But if you take a look, it has this 3 other Java keyword. So this means it's a class variable. Class variable. And this means it's public accessible. And this final is very useful here. Okay, this final here, this is a constant variable. So constant variable, that means you cannot change its value. Be changed. So it's always going to hold 999. Okay, so if you have static and if you have final, that means it's a constant. And static means it's a class constant variable. Okay, so this is a special variable, but it's still variable. Okay. And then over here, we want to output its value. So you can do the print line. This is system.out. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. And then because over here, we want to review Java array. Is it? So over here, we declare a Java array. So this is array name. How do you declare array? It's type. Make sure you need to have this empty square brackets before the name. So then that means this you declare an array of integer. You just declare. Okay, so here just declare an array. And you already learned that the difference between an array versus a single variable is what? Array can hold, is it more than one values. And the single variable, generally speaking, just a single value. A single value. So array can hold a group of same data type items. That's why we have an array, hold a group of value. And you can kind of view an array kind of like apartment, is it multiple units. A single variable is just what? Just kind of like single family, is it? Okay, so anyway, so here we declare array. So whatever in Java you want to declare array, you must specify the type, following by the empty square brackets, then the name, okay? And then what next? You declare array, you cannot just go ahead to use it, okay? So you declare array. This is the first step. Second step, you must allocate memory before you use it. Okay, so here we allocate memory. How do you allocate memory? You use this new. And this integer matches the type. The type need to match. And then you specify how many elements you want this array to hold. You said, okay, 10. So the maximum capacity for this array is 10. it's kind of, this is a 10 unit apartment. It doesn't have the 11th unit. Okay. So whenever you want to use an array, the first step is you declare, second, you need to allocate memory. Okay. After it, we can go ahead to use it. Let me comment out this part. Okay, and let's get back to this. Oh no, this one, I comment this, okay. Save it. So then what next you try to do is I try to access each individual element of an array. Is it? How do you do it? You use indexing. Using this. This is called indexing. Is it? And here I, because it's in a loop, is it? So indexing start at 0. Okay, we have 10, so it's 0, 1, 2, all the way to 9. So if you do an array sub 10, you will have error. Okay, the program will report it as error. Okay, so that won't work. So you can, it only allow you to access from 0, 1, 2 to 9. Okay. So, but be careful here. Okay, you must have this new, then, so this is basically third step. Is it first step, second step? So declare, allocate memory, then go ahead to use it. So declare, allocate memory. Remember using new, okay? Then third step, use it. So that's how we use an array, okay, use an array. And to access each individual one, okay, you got to use square brackets. And here we assign some integer value to this array. Is it? And we do print f. And this is print f versus print, this is print line, is it? So this f means you can do formatted output. Formatted output, did you see over here? Over here, is it? So this percentage sign within that double quotation, so this is formatting placeholder. Is it placeholder? So because I and an array type is integer, so you do /d. Okay, you do percentage d. So this is for integer, or this is for the first one, this is for the second one. Okay, and you can do more, okay, if you want. So anyway, so this is formatted output, okay, formatted output. And so this is how we deal with an array general idea. And here there is another concept I wanted to do is regarding here, okay. And so allocate memory. So here basically we will also discuss this a lot. So memory in Java, what we said, we have two types: stack memory and the heap memory. And for new, the memory is allocated on heap, not a stack. Okay, not a stack. So what the idea is, the stack memory, so in this, so this is the stack memory. So stack memory, later on we will learn the data structure stack, then you will have more idea about that. Okay, so temporarily anyway, so it's a kind of some container, okay. So in machine, it also has a heap memory. Okay, heap memory. And the heap memory used to hold of the objects. Okay, so stack memory to also hold of the method. So in this case, our main is here. Is it within main? Then over here you have this array. So this is just the name of the array. So it's being in the stack. Is it? And here you call new. So that means you want 10 units of integer. Okay, and memory is just like what we said, like apartment or single family, etc. So they have size, like the space size, the square feet, etc. So in programming language, it's similar, etc. So like a single character, so it needs some space. So single space, how many space it needs to hold a single character? So character is 8 bits. So 1 bit is what? It's 0 or 1. That's the basic unit of computer. Is there any computing devices? Is it? It's based on bit. Okay, so it's kind of like the square foot. Okay, so anyway, character is 8 bits. For integer in programming language, it's what? It's 4 bytes. And 8 bits is what? It's 1 byte. So it's kind of it take a 4 character space to store 1 integer. So it's like you need, so assuming like 1 square foot, then 1 square foot to store a character, then you need 4 square foot to store a integer. Okay, so integer need 4 bytes. A double need 8 bytes. This is so something like that. Okay, something like. But anyway, so the bytes, then this 4 bytes in this case, each integer is 4 bytes. So you have 10, so it's 4 times 10. So it needs 40 bytes. So this 40 bytes memory, who is going to give this 40 bytes memory? It's on heap. Okay, so this new get its memory on heap. Okay, so you are going to have this 40 bytes of memory. So then this variable is going to reference to this heap memory. Okay, so it has some address like 0, and it's a hexadecimal format, 0, 1, some A1, something. Okay, they just like our house or your apartment, it has some address, so similar. Okay, for the heap memory. So it has some address then, but it's going to take 40 bytes. Then the integer is going to be stored here, like 100, then 200, something like that, like 1,000. Okay, of them going to be stored here. Okay, so the real value going to be stored on heap memory. Okay, heap memory. So that's how this part works whenever you have new. Okay, so it's being stored in heap. Okay, in heap. So keep this in mind. And then next, let's take a look. Over here, you have B array. Is it? So then here, B array. Then you do new int. So ask for another 10 units. So 40 bytes. So then that whenever the new int 10 is it, it's going to get another 40 bytes on heap. Then it's going to reference here. So maybe this is 002 like A1, a different address. Okay, with 40 bytes. So this is for this B array. Okay. So this is regarding memory allocation for array, and we also discussed how do you assign individual value to each individual element of an array. So to access individual element of an array, you do index. And then we call this sub. We call this sub, like sub I, is it sub 0, sub 1, sub 2, something. This basically is index 0, index 1, and index 2, okay? Each individual element. So this is individual element. Okay, individual element. Okay, so, where is my, you all still see my screen?
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can still see it.
Yeah, we can see it. Yep.
You can see, but my icon. So let me do stop sharing. It's gone for some reason. Reshare. That's weird. It's just gone. So somewhere here and there, it's just too sensitive. Okay, so that's and for this section, this section is we assign value, so element by element, is it to this array after it got its memory. Okay, and if you cross out this, your program will report error. Okay, so you got to have this new before you can go ahead to use array. Because if you don't have new, there is no heap memory associated with it. So that guy, an array is kind of just kind of like a key, a fake key, but there is no room associated with it. Okay, keep that in mind. So anyway, this is element by element assignment. Okay. And for array, and let's comment out this part. Comment out this part. And then over here, let's see. Over here, if you take a close look, you will find this is kind of, you call a method. This method called initialize array, is it? And then you plug in. So here, plug in array name. Array name. Is it? So we call method plug in. So let's take a look at that method first. So here, just try to show you can also use a method to fill the value, is it? So this is a Java method. Java method. So return type. And this static means it's a class method. Okay, class, and it's public accessible. And here, this is a parameter. And this parameter is what? Parameter is an array. So parameter is an array. Okay, parameter is an array. What we did here, if you take a look, so this is called init, is it? Okay, so you just use a for loop, get each individual item, is it? So we can do this. Okay, directly. So this is, but be careful, okay, this init array, this is parameter. Parameter. Okay, parameter. Okay, then let's see. Then over here, you pass in this array. That's it, you pass in this array. Okay, pass in this array, then this array is going to hold all the values from this method, whatever this method assigns the value to the array. Is it to the array? And for Java method, okay, Java method is a parameter. It's always we do call by value. Call by value. But here, call by value, but here, this array will carry value from method call. Okay, and why over here it works like this? Because over here, the value is what? Is the reference. Okay, so even though it is a value, but it's reference to an array. To an array. That's what it's really passed in. Okay, so basically what's passed in is that heap. So here is that an array in stack memory, is it? And here is our heap memory. So here is that 40 bytes associated with that array, is it? So what's really passed in is what? Is this value of this array, but its value reference to what? Reference to this memory block. So basically this memory block is going to be passed into this method. That's why this array will get all of the value like 999 and times 10 times 999. It will carry over all of the value back for this array. Okay, for this array, that's how this part works, okay. So anyway, so here what you need to remember is for Java method, if you pass in an array, then you can let that array carry whatever the value you calculated within the method. Okay, and this part after class, if you want it, you will see it. Okay. Okay, so this is regarding this one. And I forgot to mention the coding standard. Okay. So coding standard. Okay, coding standards are quite a lot, and a lot of them quite straightforward if you read our online documentation, that coding standard requirement. But generally, for each file, so this is a file, Java file, is it? You need a file level documentation at the very beginning. At the very beginning, what you need to have is, you need to have like the purpose, is it, of this file, is it, and the name and the date. Okay, and normally for your file name, give your file name some meaningful name. Meaningful name. Is it for file name, class name, variable name, so an array is variable name, is it? And also method name. Method name. And also variable name got to use not. Okay, not. And the method name start with verb, because method is going to do something, is it? And in Java, you can see, we normally don't use like underscore. It prefer camel case. Camel case means you have, so for each word, is that each word you capitalize the first one. Okay, that's called camel case. Okay, so that's regarding the general coding standard. And we also have inline comments. So not every single statement you need to do some comment, but generally speaking, like over here, I'm just using example, okay? And in your code, you don't need to say, oh, declare a statement, that's too much, is it? But some major thing, maybe you wanted to document so that later on when you read your code, you understand, or if you work in a group, other developer will also understand what that statement means, is it? So you have some inline comments. And also make sure do the right indentation. Okay, like the block level, is it? So here, so this is a method. Is it for method? Then of the statement, you need to have indentation. Is it? And over here, we have for block or if block. You also need to do indentation. Okay, so that make your file, make your code readable. Okay, and also you need to have some blank line, is it? To make sure, okay, this is a block, this is a block, this is another block. Just like you write English articles, you need to have paragraph. So similar concept here. And for output, then make it also readable. Is it? Okay, so that's regarding inline documentation. And then this is a mandatory. For each method, okay, in our lab and the project, you need to have method level documentation also. Documentation. Okay, we have file level. The file level is at the very beginning. A method level documentation. You need to have this three parts: purpose, precondition, and post condition. Purpose is what this method does. Okay, precondition is like in this case, this array must exist. Is it some precondition? Okay, and the post conditions after this method, what's going to be returned or what should be output. So that's a post condition. Okay, so for every method, you need to provide this three: purpose, precondition, and the post condition. Okay, and then you can also have some inline documentation. Okay, so we didn't get a chance to